Zidane destroys Spain. The absolute truth behind Messi's emotional tears and the brutal tunnel brawl. Before we jump into this madness, smash that like button, subscribe right now, and turn on notifications. If you are a real soccer fan, if the Argentine jersey is in your soul and you defend Lionel Messi against absolutely everyone, you are home here. Hit subscribe now for exclusive analysis and back the Scalonita against a media trying to drag our history through the mud. What we witnessed in this World Cup final was no ordinary soccer match. It was an epic 120-minute war of nerves, ending in bitter heartbreak after Spain snatched a 1-0 victory in extra time, but the real explosion happened only after the official broadcast cameras cut away. What went down in the locker room tunnel was an absolute, unprecedented scandal. While Lionel Messi walked off, choking back tears and swallowing the bitter pain, completely exhausted after pouring his heart onto the pitch, several Spanish players crossed every line of respect. Instead of celebrating with the class a world title demands, kids like Dani Olmo, Gabi, and Eric Garcia turned to the Argentine bench, throwing taunts, insults, and wild gestures at the greatest player of all time. That sheer disrespect triggered an instant, explosive reaction. Leandro Paredes, Nahuel Molina, and the rest of Argentina's warriors refused to stand by. They would not let anyone trample the honor of their captain or the pride of an entire nation. A massive brawl erupted in the tunnel with pushing, shoving, screaming, and a suffocating tension that proved one thing: the pride of our jersey is absolutely non-negotiable. Yet, the European media and Madrid sports papers quickly began spinning their own narrative, labeling the Argentine players as sore losers while completely burying Spain's ugly provocations. But just as the lies started taking hold, a living soccer legend stepped up to set the record straight and shake up all of Europe. Zinedine Zidane knows exactly what it means to play a World Cup final, to feel that crushing pressure and fight for your honor when things boil over. Just broke his silence in an unfiltered interview with The Athletic. Zizou's words did not just shock the soccer world, they completely shattered the story Madrid had been trying to sell. Asked about Messi's tears after being trapped in a suffocating tactical cage for over 2 grueling hours, a deeply moved Zidane spoke with real emotion, calling it a dark, tragic night for soccer. It was a night where the ball itself seemed to weep alongside Lionel Messi. When the final whistle blew, there was no simple winner or loser. I saw a titan, a true warrior who poured his entire life into the shirt of his homeland, fighting to his absolute last breath against a choking tactical trap and the heavy, inevitable weight of time. Today, I tell him directly, Leo, do not lower your head for even a single second. Keep your head held high and your pride completely unbroken. This single defeat does not take a fraction of gold from the sacred throne you built over 20 years of pure genius. Guiding this Argentine generation to 2 consecutive World Cup finals is a colossal feat that only the gods of sport can achieve. History will completely forget the 90-minute scoreline of this game, but it will never forget the man who made soccer the most beautiful, thrilling game on earth. Zidane then looked back on his own legendary career to send a message that truly touched every soccer fan. I was once in those exact same shoes. I know exactly what it feels like to lose a World Cup final in the most agonizing way possible. I know that heavy pain that tears you apart inside. But soccer owes Lionel Messi far more than Messi could ever owe this game. He does not need to lift another trophy to prove to anyone that he is the absolute king of soccer. My words are not spoken out of pity, but out of truth, a tribute to a magician who gave us decades of pure magic. All of Argentina and the entire world are incredibly proud of him. Later, the reporter asked Zidane about the attitude of the Spanish players, who bragged about shutting down Messi and claimed their win was a flawless tactical masterclass. In that moment, the Frenchman lost all composure, unleashing a wave of pure, unfiltered fury. Zidane snapped, calling the behavior of the Spanish players after the final whistle absolutely detestable, childish, and incredibly embarrassing. That shows an absolute lack of class and a total lack of the humility a true champion must have. Winning a match or a tournament never gives you the right to mock or provoke legends who built the glory of this sport long before these kids even learned to kick a ball. I saw the attitude of Dani Olmo and his teammates trying to sell fake values and sportsmanship in front of the cameras, while behind the scenes they used dirty play to rattle the Argentines. They won the trophy, yes, but they lost the respect of the entire world. Sisu highlighted the massive difference between this team and actual Spanish legends. When you win a World Cup, you must respect the opponent that pushed you for almost 2 hours to your absolute limit. You do not celebrate provocatively in front of a devastated and heartbroken bench just to start fights. That is an ethical failure that stains the beauty of their own achievement. They should learn from Spain's golden generation men like Xavi Hernandez, Andres Iniesta, and Iker Casillas, who knew exactly how to stay humble in victory. Their pathetic attempts to belittle Messi will never erase the fact that he is, was, and always will be, the ultimate nightmare they dread facing. Tension reached its absolute boiling point when they brought up the massive fight-in. The tunnel and the harsh criticism from the European media targeting Leandro Paredes and Nahuel Molina for confronting the Spanish players. That was exactly when Zidane dropped a bombshell that left the interviewer completely speechless. To all those talking heads and hypocrites in television studios calling Paredes and Molina sore losers, I tell them to shut their mouths. What Paredes and his teammates did was the natural, visceral reaction of real men standing up to protect their honor, their captain, and their family. Let me remind everyone of what I did myself in the final of the 2006 World Cup. In the very last play of my professional career, I headbutted Italian defender Marco Materazzi right in the chest because he refused to respect my honor, saying disgusting things no man with blood in his veins could tolerate. My last dance at the World Cup ended in tragedy and pain, exactly like what happened to Messi today. I fell defending my dignity, and I understand completely the fire and helplessness those Argentine players felt on the pitch. Zidane stared directly into the camera and declared soccer is not a theater play or a peaceful walk in the park. It is a battle where blood, grit, and honor are put on the line. When you see your leader, your symbol, get provoked and mocked by mediocre players who think they own the universe just because they scored in extra time, your sacred duty as a teammate is to step up and defend him with your entire soul. That shove by Paredes was not indiscipline. It was a loud, clear message that Argentina's pride cannot be touched or humbled by anyone. I respect the courage of real men, infinitely more than the fake morality of those judging from the outside. To wrap up, Zidane completely dismantled Spain's tactical strategy and exposed the real motive hiding behind their style of play. Let us speak the truth directly, without the inventions of the Madrid media, Sisu stated. They talk about 68% possession as if it were some masterclass of absolute superiority, but the reality is very different. They played that way because they were shaking with fear, completely terrified of one man named Lionel Messi. That is why they crowded him constantly with 3 or 4 defenders, cutting off his passing lanes with constant fouls while exploiting a very permissive referee. That boring, unproductive possession style was not a show of strength, it was proof of their terror that Messi would settle the game with one moment of genius. Zidane ended with one devastating stat. Argentina reached the final as the most devastating attack of the tournament with 19 goals scored. Spain could not stop them by just playing soccer. They had to park the bus, waste time, and bait Enzo Fernandez into a red card at a critical moment in extra time. Without that man advantage and that favorable refereeing, Spain would have never breached the heroic wall of Argentina's defense. History is already written in gold, no matter what happens today or tomorrow. Lionel Messi and Diego Armando Maradona sit together on the supreme throne of world soccer, a sacred place where no Spanish player will ever set foot. A historic, heavy statement from one of soccer's greatest minds. Zidane spoke the truth that millions of fans were thinking, exposing the arrogance while defending the honor of Argentine soccer from the heart. Now, what is your take on this? Is Zidane right to back Paredes and defend the team's pride? Or is the European press actually onto something? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to read them. Remember to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to help keep this independent coverage alive. Thank you, everyone, and let's go Argentina.